Technology has made it possible for almost any type of work to be performed as a gig, or people are independent contractors. In fact, 24% of Americans reported earning some money from the gig economy, and employers like you love it. So recently, a director of a nonprofit organization told me that they were an independent contractor to save the organization benefits. Well, you know what? California law considers that illegal. And there are some steep consequences financially for that. And it's just fine with this employee until it's not, and they realize that they've been taken advantage of. So we need to pay attention to this. Just a week ago, Gavin Newsom, our governor, signed into law a new employee classification test to guide business people like you on who can be an independent contractor. This legislation will affect much more than Uber and Lyft. In fact, some people in this room will be dramatically impacted by this. It stands to affect nearly every sector of the economy. It's a big deal, and it's something you need to pay attention to or face expensive mistakes. AB 5 presumes that everyone is an employee unless they can pass what they call the ABC test. So let's take the test. I want you to think of someone you would like to classify as an independent contractor, or maybe it's you. To be an independent contractor, this person must A, be free from control and direction when performing the work. B, the work must be outside the usual course of business. In other words, they're not performing duties that you hire people as employees to do. And C, the person must be customarily engaged in an independently established trade, occupation, or business of the same nature as the work performed, meaning that they're in business doing this type of work for a living. So, how'd you do? If you fail even one part of the test, then the person needs to be classified as an employee with all the rights of employees, including paid time off and access to benefits. The law dictates specific job titles that must be employees, such as physical therapists, newspaper carriers, most truck drivers, commercial janitors, unlicensed nail salon workers, strippers, rabbis, and many gig economy workers. And good news, there is a long list of exemptions of people who can be independent contractors, such as insurance agents, security brokers, doctors, lawyers, architects, accountants, engineers, licensed realtors, fine arts, hairdressers, among a long list. So you really need to understand where you fit. But the list gets specific. Take me, for example. As an HR professional, I must meet the test, but that's not enough. My work must be intellectual, varied in character, and non-standardized. For example, a client hires me to develop a customized leadership training program. A, once the scope of work is defined, I'm free from control and direction to perform the work. B, none of my clients are in the business of providing leadership training. C, I'm customarily engaged as an independent business person doing this type of work for a living. So I have business licenses, I have insurance, Morris Garitano. I submit W-9s to all of my clients, and I pay taxes, a lot of them, on my business income. I'm a business person. So I pass the test. Plus, the work I do is unique. It's intellectual property. And so I can legitimately be an independent contractor. But let's look at another example. One of my clients shared with me that an employee had resigned to start a business baking cakes in their home. And they wanted to come back as an independent contractor. So I asked my client, what would that person be doing? Since I know they don't have a lot of interest in cakes. So they said the former employee would write monthly newsletters, do some bookkeeping, and fill in for the receptionist. Basically the same job they did before. So I said they shouldn't do it. They could stay on as a part-time, on-call, seasonal employee, but they cannot be an independent contractor. They weren't happy with me. But I care about them, I care about you. I don't want you to make any kind of mistake. I've just given you a broad brush. I have a flyer that still does not give you all the detail that you need. So you really need to keep yourself educated on this. On the flyer, I give you some recent articles, meaning the last couple of days. Plus, I share with you some excellent resources in our community. The Human Resource Association of the Central Coast is my central place to, on a monthly basis, get this kind of information. We have our annual conference October 11th in the morning at the Madonna Inn. We have labor law attorneys talking, and we have our labor law update every January, the second Tuesday of the month at the Madonna Inn. And you owe it to yourself to keep yourself abreast of this. It's likely to change, but you don't want to get stuck misclassifying people. Thank you.